Welcome to our journey into one of the most dramatic and pivotal events in ancient history, the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Picture this, a city of immense cultural and religious significance, teeming with life and hope, suddenly engulfed in the throes of a brutal siege that would change its fate forever. Over the next minutes, we will unravel the gripping story of this monumental clash between the mighty Roman Empire and the determined Jewish defenders. We'll delve deep into the heart of the conflict, exploring the political tensions, military strategies, and personal stories that bring this ancient siege to life. You'll witness the ingenuity and might of the Roman legions, the desperate resilience of Jerusalem's inhabitants, and the catastrophic events that led to the fall of one of history's most revered cities. But that's not all. Stay with us until the end, and we'll uncover a fascinating curiosity about the aftermath of the siege that continues to echo through the ages. Prepare to be transported back in time, to the very streets and battlements where history was made. This is the story of the Roman siege of Jerusalem. Our story begins in the turbulent 1st century AD. Judea, a province under Roman rule, was a hotbed of unrest. The Great Revolt of 66 AD was sparked by a volatile mix of religious tensions, heavy taxation, and political oppression. Jewish zealots, driven by a desire for independence and religious freedom, rebelled against their Roman overlords. This uprising was not a sudden event, but the culmination of years of simmering discontent. The Roman response was swift and brutal. Emperor Nero dispatched his trusted general, Vespasian, to quell the rebellion. Vespasian's initial campaigns were successful, but the conflict intensified, drawing in more Roman forces and escalating the violence. By 69 AD, Vespasian had been declared emperor, leaving his son Titus to finish the campaign. The stage was set for a decisive confrontation in Jerusalem, the heart of Jewish resistance. The Romans, with their superior military might and strategic acumen, were determined to crush the rebellion and reassert their dominance. As the Roman legions marched toward Jerusalem, the city prepared for a siege that would test the limits of human endurance and reshape the course of history. Jerusalem, a city of immense religious and cultural significance, was perched on rugged terrain surrounded by deep valleys. Its formidable defenses included thick stone walls, fortified gates, and towering watchtowers. The city was a bustling hub of activity, with marketplaces, homes, and the magnificent Second Temple standing as the spiritual heart of the Jewish people. Before the siege, daily life in Jerusalem was vibrant yet fraught with tension. The rebellion against Roman rule had polarized the population. Zealots and Sicarii, radical factions committed to expelling the Romans, clashed with more moderate groups and those loyal to Rome. Internal strife was rampant, with these factions often engaging in violent skirmishes within the city walls. As the rebellion escalated, the impact on Jerusalem's citizens was profound. The fear of impending Roman retribution loomed large, disrupting daily life and sowing chaos. Food supplies dwindled as preparations for a prolonged siege began. Key figures emerged, such as John of Giscala and Simon Bar Giora, who led the rebel forces and fortified the city's defenses. However, their leadership was marred by infighting and power struggles, weakening the city's unity against the impending Roman assault. Jerusalem, on the eve of the siege, was a city on edge, its people caught between hope and fear, its streets echoing with the sounds of preparation and discord. The stage was set for a conflict that would test the city's resilience and faith. Under the command of General Titus, the Roman army prepared for the siege of Jerusalem. With meticulous planning and overwhelming force, the legions were well organized and experienced, equipped with advanced military technology and siege engines. These included massive battering rams, catapults, and siege towers designed to breach the city's formidable defenses. Titus commanded 4 legions, approximately 60,000 troops, including infantry, cavalry, and auxiliary units. The Roman soldiers were disciplined and battle-hardened. Having already subdued much of Judea, their strategy for the siege involved encircling Jerusalem with a trench and a wall, known as a circumvallation, to cut off supplies and reinforcements. The Romans employed a methodical approach, systematically attacking Jerusalem's outer defenses. They used their siege engines to batter the walls and launch projectiles into the city, causing chaos and weakening the defenders' resolve. The construction of siege ramps allowed them to bring their towers close to the walls, providing a platform for direct assaults. Titus also utilized psychological warfare, displaying the crucifixion of captured rebels to demoralize the inhabitants. The Roman army's relentless pressure and sophisticated tactics gradually wore down Jerusalem's defenses, setting the stage for the final, devastating assault. The Roman siege of Jerusalem unfolded in several brutal stages. In April 70 AD, Titus commenced the siege by encircling the city with 3 legions and later reinforced them with a 4th. Initial assaults targeted the outer defenses, including the third wall, which the Romans breached after fierce resistance. One of the key events was the Battle of Antonia Fortress. This strategic stronghold, overlooking the temple, was vital for both the Romans and the Jewish defenders. After weeks of intense fighting, the Romans captured the fortress, gaining a crucial advantage inside the city. The situation deteriorated rapidly. Famine ravaged the population, leading to desperate acts of survival. Internal conflicts between Jewish factions intensified, further weakening their defense against the Romans. In July, the Romans set fire to the Second Temple. The destruction of this sacred site was a devastating blow to the Jewish people, symbolizing the collapse of their resistance. As flames consumed the temple, the remaining defenders were pushed into the upper city. By September, the Romans had breached the upper city's defenses. The final assault was marked by brutal street fighting, massacres, and the burning of buildings. Jerusalem fell, leaving a city in ruins and a populace decimated, marking the tragic end of the siege. Life inside besieged Jerusalem was a harrowing ordeal. As the Romans tightened their grip, the city's inhabitants faced extreme hardships. Food supplies dwindled quickly, leading to widespread famine. People resorted to eating whatever they could find, including leather and, in the most desperate cases, even turning to cannibalism. Disease spread rapidly in the cramped, unsanitary conditions. The lack of clean water and proper sanitation exacerbated the suffering, claiming countless lives. Despite the dire circumstances, the people of Jerusalem showed remarkable resilience. They continued to conduct religious rituals, praying for divine intervention. Internal strife further complicated life within the city walls. Factions like the Zealots and Sicariae clashed violently, vying for control and resources. These internal conflicts undermined any cohesive defense against the Roman siege, adding to the chaos and suffering. The psychological toll was immense. Fear and despair permeated the city as the relentless Roman assault wore down the defenders. Yet, even in these darkest times, stories of courage and solidarity emerged. Some residents took enormous risks to smuggle food into the city or to defend their families and homes. Jerusalem, once a vibrant center of culture and faith, became a scene of unimaginable suffering and endurance. As its people faced the horrors of siege warfare, the final days of Jerusalem's siege were marked by relentless Roman assaults and unimaginable destruction. In August 70 AD, the Romans breached the second wall, gaining access to the Antonia Fortress. From there, they launched a devastating attack on the city's heart, the Second Temple. The destruction of the temple was a catastrophic event. Flames engulfed the sacred structure, symbolizing the collapse of Jewish resistance. The fire spread uncontrollably, consuming homes, marketplaces, and public buildings. The loss of the temple was not just a physical, but a profound spiritual blow, signaling the end of Jerusalem as a central place of worship for the Jewish people. The remaining defenders retreated to the upper city, but their resistance was short-lived. By September, Roman forces breached these final defenses, leading to brutal street-by-street fighting. The city, once a beacon of culture and faith, was reduced to ruins. The Romans showed no mercy, slaughtering thousands of inhabitants and taking many more as slaves. The aftermath was a scene of devastation. Buildings were destroyed. The streets were littered with the dead, and survivors faced a grim future under Roman rule. The fall of Jerusalem marked a tragic end to the rebellion and a profound shift in the region's history. The repercussions of the Roman siege of Jerusalem was devastating and far-reaching. The city's destruction had immediate and profound consequences for its surviving inhabitants and the wider Jewish community. Thousands were killed, and many others were taken as slaves, dispersed throughout the Roman Empire. Jerusalem was left in ruins, its population decimated, and its role as the spiritual and political center of the Jewish people was irrevocably altered. The Romans celebrated their victory by erecting the Arch of Titus in Rome, commemorating the conquest and the spoils taken from the temple. This victory monument served both as a testament to Roman power and as a stark reminder of the rebellion's failure. The siege's impact extended beyond the physical destruction. It marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, as many Jews fled or were forced into exile. This dispersal significantly influenced Jewish culture and religion, leading to the development of rabbinic Judaism and the emphasis on the study of the Torah and community worship. Independent of a central temple, Roman policies in Judea changed dramatically. The province was placed under tighter control, and measures were taken to prevent future rebellions. Heavy taxes and the presence of Roman garrisons ensured compliance. The fall of Jerusalem reshaped the region's political and religious landscape, leaving an indelible mark on history. The Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD holds immense historical significance and a legacy that echoes through the centuries. This event marked a turning point in Jewish history, transforming the socio-political and religious landscape. The destruction of the Second Temple ended the era of temple-based worship and sacrificial rites, giving rise to rabbinic Judaism, which focused on Torah study and synagogue services. The siege also highlighted the might and brutality of the Roman Empire. It demonstrated Rome's military prowess and its determination to maintain control over its territories. The suppression of the Jewish revolt served as a stark warning to other provinces contemplating rebellion. Archaeological discoveries and historical records, particularly the writings of Flavius Josephus, have provided invaluable insights into the events of the siege. Josephus, a Jewish historian who witnessed the siege, documented the conflict in detail, offering a unique perspective on both the Roman and Jewish experiences. The legacy of the siege is evident in modern culture and religion. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple, remains a sacred site for Jews worldwide. The fall of Jerusalem is commemorated annually on Tisha B'Av, a day of mourning for the many tragedies that have befallen the Jewish people. The siege's impact on Christian history is also significant. Early Christians, interpreting the destruction as a fulfillment of prophecies, saw it as a pivotal moment in the emergence of Christianity separate from Judaism. The Roman siege of Jerusalem thus stands as a profound event with enduring historical and cultural repercussions. Amid the grand historical narrative of the Roman siege of Jerusalem, personal stories and anecdotes provide a poignant glimpse into the human experience of the conflict. One of the most detailed accounts comes from Flavius Josephus, a Jewish historian who was captured by the Romans and later became an advisor to Titus. His writings offer vivid descriptions of the siege's horrors and the resilience of Jerusalem's inhabitants. Josephus recounts tales of unimaginable suffering and heroism. One such story is of a mother driven to desperation by famine, who tragically killed and ate her own child. This harrowing account highlights the extreme conditions and the depths of despair faced by the city's residents. Despite the chaos, there were also acts of remarkable bravery. Jewish defenders, including women and children, took up arms to protect their homes. Some managed to smuggle food into the city, risking their lives to provide for their families and neighbors. These acts of solidarity and courage shine through the darkness of the siege. Other stories reveal the complex dynamics within the city. Internal strife, particularly between the zealots and more moderate factions, often exacerbated the suffering. Yet, amidst this turmoil, There were moments of unity and collective resistance. These personal narratives bring the siege to life, transforming it from a series of historical events into a deeply human story of endurance, sacrifice, and survival. They remind us that behind every great historical event are countless individual lives, each with their own struggles and stories. Now, let's uncover a fascinating curiosity related to the aftermath of the siege, the Arch of Titus in Rome. Erected in 81 AD to celebrate Titus's victory, the arch features detailed reliefs depicting the spoils taken from Jerusalem's Second Temple, including the menorah and sacred vessels. These carvings offer a glimpse into the treasures of the temple and the triumphal procession through Rome. The arch stands as a powerful symbol of Roman might and a reminder of the futility of rebellion against the empire. It also reinforced the authority of the Flavian dynasty. Interestingly, the Arch of Titus inspired many later monuments, like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. For centuries, Jews avoided passing under it, viewing it as a symbol of their ancestors' suffering. Today, the arch remains a testament to the lasting impact of the Roman siege of Jerusalem, capturing both Rome's triumph and the Jewish people's profound tragedy. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the dramatic events of the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. From the background and causes of the conflict to the harrowing experiences of those inside the city, we've uncovered a pivotal chapter in history that profoundly shaped the Jewish and Roman worlds. If you found this exploration insightful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Armchair Archaeology for more captivating historical journeys. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. What other epic events from ancient history should we explore together? Let us know in the comments below. Until then, keep discovering, keep questioning, and keep the spirit of history alive.